Bryan with another yearly episode of Birthday Shopping with Bryan. It's my birthday in a little more than a week, April 28th. I share it with Saddam Hussein and Jay Leno, which I don't know which one of those is worse. I really don't like Jay Leno.
It's okay, Colin. I'm just going to do the show before you, and I'm not going to totally steal your show and pay for my Steam cards.
I'm still upset about the Conan O'Brien thing. I'm sorry. It happened a long time ago, but it still makes me mad. Anyway, so this is all just stuff that I would theoretically be buying if I wasn't kind of broke at the moment. And also, this isn't a big birthday. I'm 46. 2 score and 6. It's not one worth buying myself a special present for, but I spent a couple hours today just kind of shopping around, seeing what I might buy. And these are some things I came up with. So we're going to start off with Indiana Knives. IndianaKnives.com. They are a sponsor of ours. If you click down below, there's a link. You get 10% off at checkout. It's right at the end of checkout, so don't worry about that. But they are now carrying custom knife factory knives. Just this one so far, but I'm really hoping that this goes well and they get more because I love CKF stuff. The build quality is outstanding. I've only had one. I couldn't afford to keep it. It was a much more expensive one, so I had to let it go. But this one, $489. Really kind of like the look of it a lot. It's the Custom Knife Factory CKF SM Special. I think it's very, very pretty, and I like the kind of cool pocket clip thing it does here. It's going to switch, yeah. So you can kind of like the pocket clip sort of switches there, which is kind of neat. I do like that a lot. Looks like it has 2 clips. I don't know if it's a spare clip or if you need a different one if you mount it up here. But typical CKF fashion, it comes with all this stuff. They always include a lot of like extra bearings and parts and all that, which is great. Yeah. I just think that looks super cool, and I'd really like to try one out. So, and also, yeah, I want to encourage them to keep carrying CKF. So, go buy one. Again, you get 10% off, which is a pretty big deal on something this expensive. Next up, not an official sponsor of the show exactly, but they do help us out a whole lot. Southern Edges, great company, and they have always the coolest OTFs and everything. So the one that I picked out here is the. Here, we'll change pictures for you because I was looking at the pocket clip to see what it looked like so I can remember. This is the Heretic Manticore. I had a Heretic Hydra single action for a little while, and it was just kind of too big and insane for me, and I did get rid of it. But I really do want to try one of these Manticores, and especially just in a black Tanto would be preferable, or a Tanto anyway, not the recurve blade. I don't care what color it is. They do make a purple that's awesome, but they go away really, really fast. But yeah, $259. They're not too bad. I've heard great things about them. I just want to check one out. That pocket clip, why I was zoomed in here, yeah, I think that'll be all right. It doesn't have any bolts sticking out, but and I liked it. I actually liked that pocket clip on the Hydra, so kind of a big old pocket clip. But I just really want to try out another Heretic. I loved the quality and the build and everything about the Hydra. It just was kind of big and single action. Next up is a custom Benchmade Crooked River. This is my configuration from the custom shop. I had a Crooked River. I really liked it. I sold it with the intent to buy one of these, and then bills have happened, and I've just never been able to spend the money to go get another one. But this is 20 CV, blacked out everything with carbon fiber, blue collar, and the blue spacer on the back. So I think it's pretty cool looking. I like that you can just kind of rotate it here. Benchmade Custom Shop is so much fun. Even if you don't intend on buying anything, it's just fun to go in there and play around. $330, not inexpensive, but not insane. It's 20 CV. It's a big old knife. I like the big Crooked River better than the mini, but I think I'm probably in the minority on that. Next up, this is just where I could find one in stock. So we're going to GP Knives, but the Protect Godson. I've had a lot of Protects. I've never had a Godson. And this is the one with the leather inlay, the Greg Stevens design leather inlay, $400. Not too inexpensive, but it has the mirror blade and all that stuff. It's a fancy Godson, and I think the Godson's kind of a fancy knife, so that's kind of cool. One thing I want to look at, I saw the lanyard, which I would immediately remove, so I'm like, oh god, it doesn't not have a pocket clip. No, it's got a pocket clip. For a half second there, I thought maybe it didn't have a pocket clip, but I think it's pretty cool. Yeah, $400 for 154 cm. It's a bit pricey, but yeah, it's got that really nice leather inlay, and yeah, I'd really like that. Or one of the wood handle ones, one or the other. I want a fancy Godson if I'm getting one. I don't want a plain one. I think it's kind of a fancy knife and deserves to have some bling on it. Next up, this is one I'm probably going to get eventually, but I wanted to put on here. This is the new We Knives Miscreant I'm really intrigued by this one. It's on Knife Center is the place that I chose to choose it, but it's all over the place. Yeah, 3-inch blade. It's kind of classy, but yet kind of dangerous looking. Brad Zinker design. I usually like his stuff a lot. Very squared off handle, but I know a lot of other people who are pretty ergo snobs, and they still say really good things about it. I do like this blacked out titanium that We does. It always looks really good. So, yeah, or the plain one if I had to get one, but I'm going to keep an eye out for one of those. I'm probably going to get one into review, but it is one that I really want right now, so I included it on here. And next up, the newer version of the Quiet Carry Drift that I did not get my hands on. This is the only one still available. So the only configure. This is probably what I would choose anyway. But I never had a Drift. I've had lots of Quiet Carries. I've had an IQ. I've had all the less expensive ones. I still have a Waypoint and a Chase, one of the less expensive ones. But yeah, I never had a Drift. And yeah, this is the only full titanium one that's still available. And I think the orange G10. But yeah, I like that they're that Vanex super clean steel. I have it in my Waypoint, and it's performed extremely well. And it would be cool to have another resistant knife here. So next up, we have a knife related product. I've been wanting to get a fancier sharpening system, and I don't know. This one still just keeps coming back in my head. This is the TS Prof Blitz, the complete kit. That's $351. I just think it's cool. I like watching his sharpening videos. It just looks, I don't know. I like the kind of robotic look of it, and I don't see it being any better or any worse than a KME or anything like that. Maybe it's better. I don't know, but I've heard great things, and like I said, I just love the look of it. It's just a nice thing to look at sitting on your bench. It's just pretty, and at least to me, this kind of mechanical sort of look to it. I'm just really into it. Comes with a whole bunch of stuff on that kit. So yeah, angle indicator and all that stuff. Yeah, this is the one that speaks to me the most. If I was going to get a fancy system, I have a Viper Sharp right now. It's pretty fancy, and I am very, very happy with it. But I want to try something else out. And honestly, mostly I'm using the Work Sharp Precision Adjust because it's $60 and it does most of what I want. So but yeah, I would like to try one of these out. Next up, an EDC item. Tactile Turn just came out with this slim bolt action pen. They're $100. I have the Fatty Mini. Well, it's not. I guess you call it the Fatty now. It's just a regular bolt action pen, but now they have a slim. So I guess you call it the fat one now. I don't know. But I really, really like it. But yeah, it'll be nice to have something a little slimmer. I wish I had a pocket clip more like the standard one. These milled clips, a little more sticks out of your pocket. I'm not as in love with that. But this one I just chose the plain bolt because I have the Timascus bolt, which looks like that on my other one. And went with a short on this one, which is a little longer. I have the mini in the other. So, yeah. And I'd get it in titanium. I don't know, maybe the bronze. Yeah, bronze is pretty nice. The zirconium, but it's a lot. Zirconium is what I want, but it's $250. So I can't really see doing that. But don't really want the copper. But maybe the bronze. Probably the titanium. But yeah, love Tactile Turn stuff. And they're making a knife now, which would be on this list if they were available. Even when I'm shopping for myself and I'm making a wish list, I only include stuff that's available. So I guess it's a reflex from trying to do that for you guys. But if the Tactile Turn knife was available, I'm on the waiting list for one. But I would be getting that. The Tactile Turn knife looks fantastic. I cannot recall the name of it at the moment, but it looks awesome. Next up, a flashlight. This is a Lumentop FW3T. I just really, really like the look of this one. I'm not a huge flashlight guy. I have a few of them, but yeah, I definitely get the hybrid. I just think that's really a nice looking flashlight. And I do occasionally carry a flashlight, not super often, but I wanted to put another pry bar on here because I have a Casey Lynch pry bar, and I love it. All access, and it's great, and I found it to be extremely useful, and I want to find more. I do have another one in here that I will be having in a video shortly, which is pretty cool, but it's a smaller one. But I'm trying to find a really nice one, that same kind of size that you can actually get, and it's pretty hard. So I really want a Vero one. Those are pretty nice, but they're not available at the moment. But yeah, EDC stuff. One of these, if I could find one of those Vero pry bars, maybe one of those. But and now, of course, there's going to be a couple of watches. Just of course there are. But not maybe what you'd expect. This one maybe, but it's a Seiko. But it's a weird one. It's I think it might be discontinued. This is the Seiko Atlas, they call it. I just pulled it up on Amazon. But yeah, they're not horribly expensive. They're kind of weird. You've got the bezel is actuated by the other crown there, which is kind of, actually I guess it's probably that crown over here that does it. But I just always like the look of it. It's kind of big and ridiculous, 45 millimeter case. It's probably a bit big for me, but I don't know. I've always been intrigued by one, and they're not horribly expensive. And I've always kind of wanted one while you can still get them, because I'm pretty sure this is discontinued. It has the old Seiko 5 logo on it, which kind of indicates that they're probably, if it isn't discontinued yet, it soon shall be. But yeah, it's got the old 7S2X movement. You have to, do the Seiko shuffle to wind it up, but I don't know. I've just always liked the look of it. I just always thought it looked really cool. And this is just nostalgia from my teenage years. Swatch. This is the closest thing I could find to the Swatch I wore in high school, except for that this is now has all the internals exposed. I don't remember mine having the internals exposed. It was a clear one. I guess it probably did, but it's been a really long time. But I would like to have another Swatch back, just for nostalgia's sake. And this is as close to what I had in high school. But back then, we had Swatch stores, and you go in and get all the little parts and stuff. And it was a lot of fun to switch stuff around. But yeah, Swatch actually makes a pretty good watch. They are Swiss made. They're part of that group that owns everybody. Tissot, Hamilton. There's a ton of them. They're owned by, it's called the Swatch Group. For a reason. So they are a huge company, and they do own a lot of your favorite brands, but these are just their budget things. So next up, and lastly, I have to remember what it was myself. Oh, this is something just for the channel. So it's an expensive clock, but this thing, it shows it showing, does it? Yeah, with the time and all that stuff. But you can also make it display. It doesn't show on here in the pictures, but you can make it display your YouTube counter, your YouTube subscriber counter, or your Instagram subscriber counter. And I would like to have that to be behind my head when I'm on screen. I just think that would be really cool. Now that I have a somewhat appreciable number of YouTube subscribers and an appreciable number of Instagram subscribers, which you don't subscribe to me on Instagram, please do that. At Slicey Dicey 75. I don't know. I just really like this, and this is one of those things I knew my wife ain't never gonna buy me. So I wanted to get it. I just think it's cool because it does do all those things, and it's neat. So yeah, I would love to have one of the mechanical ones, but the mechanical ones are really expensive. They're $400 or $500. But they have ones that go click, 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 when stuff changes and everything, which I imagine would get annoying pretty quick, but you can turn it off. But yeah, I just thought it'd be a cool thing to have behind my head with a display of my YouTube counters. And yeah, I'm pretty sure this one does that. Now I'm not seeing it on here, but I had this thing saved, this particular item saved forever. So yeah. Anyway, cool. So maybe if this is the wrong one, then I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it does display all that stuff. But anyway, I want a clock that displays my YouTube counters. I just think it wouldn't be a clock. It would just display my YouTube counters. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Again, just a fun little thing to do on a week before my birthday, just kind of shopping around. And we have the bird song again. Somebody said it reminds them of Bob Ross. I don't know. The birds are going nuts. They cut down a lot of trees in my neighborhood, and I think I have the biggest tree in my backyard, and I think that's why they're all gathering here. But anyway, hope you guys have enjoyed this. I've been Bryan. Have a good one.